Hi guys, welcome back to TR's Tarot Talk 1111. I'm going to do this week's mystery reading. So, for those of you that are new to my channel, what I do is I randomly draw cards, separate them into 3 piles, setting my intention that Spirit is going to give you the message you need at the time you find this reading. Okay, they are timeless readings. You could go back and watch any of them at any time if you're drawn to them, if it comes across your feed. However Spirit guides you to it, then there is something here for you. Today's choices and options, by the way, for those of you returning, thank you so much for your loyal views and comments and thumbs up, and I am just so grateful for you. It's been a tough year, and making videos has kind of taken a back seat to a lot of drama and trauma in my life. So I am so grateful for those of you that keep coming back every time you see that I post a new video and supporting me and my channel, and I just love you with all my heart. And you already know how these readings go. This is a weekly reading that I do, and I try to do every week, but sometimes life gets in the way. But it's a mystery reading, and I really do a lot of prayer, meditation. I carve etchings into my candles. I burn black sage, which is for psychic protection. I consecrate the ground and circle put an energetic light circle around the reading. And so I just want you to know that if you were drawn to this reading, it's obviously got something for you. All right, this week's choices, pile number 1 has the bismuth, which is the coolest rock, or it's actually iron, but it's just so cool the way it repeats and forms, all natural. Pile number 2 is pyrite, also a very cool metal known as fool's gold, but it is pyrite, very protective and manifests wealth and money. And last but not least is the ammonite. And I'm going to show you the ammonite, which this one is, it's a fossilized ammonite. And this one has the shimmer in it, which is, I believe, a type of like, I want to say pearl, but it ain't pearl. It's opal, I believe. But this one's nice and big, but this is the one that wanted to be yours, pile number 3. This little one. But it's hard to see, and I didn't know if the camera would pick it up. So you have the big ammonite and the small ammonite. So I'm going to take your reading and move it over here, and we're going to get into pile number 1. Timestamps will be in the description box below. And if you would like to join my Patreon, there is a link in the description box below. There is also information to book a personal private reading with me. And anything else at all that you want to know about me and my services is in that description box below. We're going to get into pile number 1. I put up a protection line with an angel. We've got Ganesha for removing obstacles, and of course we've got the tools or the crystals you chose. All right, so what is your mystery message, pile number 1? We have the 3 of Wands with experiencing. Oh, we have the LARPer. That's role playing. We have magic. We have number 88 with abundance. I'm kind of hearing fake it till you make it. Pile number 1, fake it till you make it. Master, discipline, working smart, focus, structure, teacher, training, conquer, overcome, controlled, learning a skill in the flow, authoritarian, commanding presence. I'm still hearing fake it till you make it. Your tarot is the 10 of Pentacles, strength, and the 10 of Wands. All right. I just realized that I drew from the bottom, so this is the order they're supposed to be in. All right, look at the endings. So, pile number 1, whatever this is pertaining to in your life, because this is a general reading and this is going to be different for everybody. But there is something that you have been dealing with. It could be something, someone, and it's been heavy and it's been hard and it's probably taken a hot minute to be on this journey. But you have 2 10s with the strength card, and the strength is the number 8, and you have 88 here. So we've got 8s, 9s, and 10s. And the only number that isn't in succession is the number 3. So with the 3 of Wands and the LARPer and the magic and the abundance, all of this really felt to me like you have been on a journey. And again, it can be different for everybody. Maybe you've been trying to buy a home, trying to have a child, saving money for retirement, or, you know, if it's not so 3D, it could be spiritual, right? Because she's kind of an empath. She's a tree hugger here, and she's having experiences. And the experiences she's having is helping her, or you, because we're not gender specific with tarot, but the experiences, it's like when the student is ready, the master appears. And I'm thinking of the saying or proverb that the difference between a master and a student is about 1,000 more failures and attempts. You know, how do we get good at something? You've got to course correct. You've got to experience failure. And then you look at what happened, what you did, what you didn't do, and you course correct. And then you get the strength to get up and try again. Now, there's something very beautiful that you are creating as the master and magic, but it hasn't been easy. You've had to strip yourself of an old identity that really wasn't who you were. It was a role that you played. And it could have been in family dynamics, because I'm seeing the family and the 10 of Pentacles. Could have been a childhood belief system. But the beautiful message that Spirit is bringing you today is that although the road has been long and hard, and you're a bit weary and feeling heavy, all of these experiences, the good and the bad, have shaped and formed you into the master that you're becoming. And you are gaining strength and learning to become your own creator. You know, magic. How do we create magic? We set intention and we manifest. We use all the tools that was given to us. And so pile number one, I think you're being cheered on by spirit. I think they're saying, you know, don't give up. You're almost to the end. Tens are an ending. But look at, you're going from 10 of Wands to the 10 of Pentacles. And even though I drew these out from the bottom, it dawned on me that the way I drew them out of the deck was in the opposite order. And so there's something specific here for my viewers that chose this pile. That's something you did, you may have done too soon, or you may have done it out of order, but you're circling back around and you're course correcting. Because what you were aiming for was the 10 of Pentacles, but what you were receiving was the 10 of Wands. And Spirit's bringing the message that you had to go through the 10 of Wands to build your muscle and strength so that you could achieve the 10 of Pentacles. This is about manifesting. This is about discipline, strength, working smart, not hard. It's about focusing on what you're creating. But you had to kind of be stripped and reprogrammed. Whatever you thought you were, or whatever you were told that you were, was not true. And you had to go through what feels like a very spiritual journey as the student to break down the old identity and to master this 10 of Pentacles and abundance. I mean, this is 10 of Pentacles is the pinnacle of Pentacles. Pentacles is the earthly realm. It's what we desire made manifest. You can bite it. You can bury it in the backyard. You're experiencing it in the 3D, not just the 5D. I don't think you're quite there yet, but I think you're being cheered on as you have these experiences. You are taking, it's alchemy. It's the magician, magic. You're taking what was dealt to you and you are turning it into gold. It's like making lemonade out of lemons. But for you, this is going to, and it's also, so I keep looking at the strength card and the 10 of Wands, and I'm seeing somebody in the gym who's weak and tired and pushing themselves to build stamina, to build strength, and you have to tear down the muscle. You have to experience the pain. No pain, no gain, right? But at the end of the day, what you're doing is you are repairing and becoming stronger. And so whatever you've been working on, whether it's your own self-worth, your highest and best life, getting the job, having the baby, buying the home, falling, in love and getting married, whatever you have personally been creating as the magician, the way you were trying to create in the beginning was from a persona that wasn't in alignment with what you were asking for. And so you had to go through the alchemical process of death of the old you and rebirth of the new you. And you had to go through these tough experiences to build your strength so that in the end you can absolutely be a powerful, conscious creator, mastering the art of manifestation. Even if you've never heard of manifestation, which I know you have because you found me, you're doing it. You know, it's like life is tough. Our childhood, we're taught to believe we're someone we're not, or we're turned into someone. Maybe we were that person, but it wasn't because we chose it. It was because it was kind of tacked onto us. In my family, I was always told that I was the strong one, you know, and when everybody else got to be weak and cry, I was the one that, you know, was told, well, you're needed, you're necessary, be strong. Some people are told they're the clumsy one. That's my clumsy child. Or, you know, I was actually that too. They used to call me Gracie instead of Tracy because I would trip over my own 2 feet. But not because I wasn't graceful, but because I was always exuberant and active and a little hyperactive. And I was a happy child. But my happiness got a little stifled because I was too big, too much, too loud, too much. And so whatever your story is, wherever this hits you in your heart, because it's going to hit you in your heart, you have not been alone. You have journeyed with spirit. You may have felt alone, but you were not alone. You were being groomed and conditioned for bigger things, mastering skills through the hard times. It's like, you know, maybe you'll write that book about abuse that helps others get through it. Or maybe you'll be the tarot reader that guides others through the darkness. But wherever your darkness was, it has created a master. And you're being cheered on by spirit. They're saying, don't give up before the magic and abundance appears. Abundance comes in many forms. It could be money, could be prestige, could be the baby you always wanted, could be the man or woman romantically you always wanted, could be mastering a skill and becoming monetized or recognized. Whatever it is for you, pile number 1, your mystery messages: don't give up. Don't allow the experiences you've had define you. It's not who you are. You're becoming the master through every failure. Take the tools that have been given to you through the experiences and use them as your magic to create whatever it is that your heart has been desiring. And you're about to get there. You're at the 10s. We have 8, 9, 10. It's on its way. You are the creator of your outcome. You have to keep going. You have to change the way you talk to yourself and speak what you speak into the world. And you have to keep your eye on the prize because Spirit is about to give it to you. It's not about earning whatever this abundance and Ten of Pentacles is. It's about creating it. It's always been there. But what you're working on is energetically aligning with it, becoming the same frequency of it. And you're not the victim anymore. I don't know why I needed to say that, but I'm seeing this sheep, and I always think of sheep as the offering, the slaughter, right? The sacrificial lamb. You don't have to sacrifice who you are or what you want anymore. You just have to use your inner magic, use what you've learned, and create your heart's desire. There's something here about bad experiences, alchemizing, base metal, being turned to gold. It's when we take the lemons and we make lemonade. And then we monetize that shit and get rich off of it. Or enriched. It doesn't have to be money. But we become enriched by it. So pile number 1, Spirit is cheering you on. Don't give up before you get what you're manifesting. Focus on vibrationally aligning with what it is you're asking for. And don't be afraid to tell your story if that's part of your journey. Because it's your story that's helped you to become what you're becoming. Okay, I love you. I hope that resonated. I'm going to move on now to pile number 2. Hello, pile number 2. I didn't want to say it in pile number 1, but if you had a hard time deciding between 1 and 2, I hope you watched both. If you don't, it's okay. You weren't meant to. But if you were drawn to pile number 1 and pile number 2, I hope you trusted your intuition, because pile number 1 might be important. So, I'm going to put your pie right over here. What is the message? There is strength. Well, actually, this is the devil. It has the energy in this deck of strength. Oh, and we have Bitcoin, I think. What's it say? Shitcoin. Shitcoin blockchain. So it's not Bitcoin, it's shitcoin. The devil with shitcoin. We have abundance. We have parenting, conditioning. Number 63, number 15. So a 9 and a 6, if those mean anything. We have birdcage. Possessive, codependent, cling, restless, oblivious, controlled, sing anyway, want freedom, without consent, dominion, watched, hostage, confined, jealous, trapped, predator. We have Ace of Pentacles right under the shitcoin. We have King of Wands, On the Three of Swords. Okay. All right. So my pile number 2s. Again, only if you were drawn to pile number 1. If you were, go watch it. But if you weren't, don't worry about it, because your message is still, you're going to get the message. It's just going to drive it home a little more. So, again, there's a theme here with the sacrificial lamb, the lion representing strength. But in this deck, this is the devil. This is things that we are conditioned to believe. This lion was conditioned, well, not really. It was raised. So the story in the Osho Zen deck, or I don't even remember now if it was in the book that came with it, or if it was the meditation I did that the story unfolded through. But the story that I get from this card is the lion lost its parents as a small child, or lion, as a small cub, and was taken in by the sheep. And the sheep raised it, parenting, as its own, and taught it how to walk and talk and live as a sheep. And it was happy to do so, because it was all it knew. It was all it was ever taught or conditioned to understand. Programming. Until one day it went to the river, all grown up, and took a drink and saw its own reflection. And the moment it saw itself, its true self, not the image that was imprinted on it, but the true image of it, it became confused and a little angry and felt different, felt alone, felt different is what I'm hearing in my head. Different. And so I don't know, and I never did figure out if it killed the sheep and clothed itself in the sheep, tied it to it, and trying to fit in, trying to be a sheep, wanting desperately to be a sheep. But it wasn't meant to be a sheep. It wasn't meant to be a sheep. It was meant to be a lion. Not that there's anything wrong with sheep. Sheep are wonderful. They're beautiful. They keep us warm. Their fur keeps us warm. They live off the land. They just have a lot to offer in their own capacity. But they're not a lion. You see, a lion is top of the food chain. It is the king of the animal kingdom. And so I'm getting this message, pile number 2, that there was something in your childhood, in the way you were raised, in the way you were parented, that was out of alignment with who you truly are. Now, this is a general reading. It could be that you were adopted and the people that gave birth to you, your natural biological parents, weren't the parents that raised you. That's pretty specific. Or it could just be energetic, where you just didn't feel like you fit in. You felt like the odd one out. You felt like You were born into the wrong family. Or maybe your family wanted you to be something that you weren't authentically capable of being, but you tried. I'm just feeling so much here about parents or other authority figures selling you an idea or a belief system, a shit coin about who you were, about your value, right? You're the top of the food chain. You are the king of the jungle. There's something royal about you that was taken from you. Maybe not, maybe they weren't horrible people. Maybe it wasn't intentional. But this is about you fearlessly. It's about self-worth. It's about loving yourself. It's about accepting who you are. It's about pulling out these three swords. And these three swords, if this was a personal reading, I would pick this shit apart right here. I'd start looking at what broke your heart, what betrayed you, what made you feel less than. But it's not a personal reading, and it's going to be different for each of you. But we have codependence. We have possessive. We have devil energy. We have captivity. We have somebody wanting to shed the false self and to free themselves from a belief system. Maybe about being worthless, because look at, we got coins. We got an angel wanting to jump on you too. We have coins, coins, coins. And then we have this King of Wands sitting here looking at this coin. And again, if this was a private reading, I'd be digging into who is this King of Wands. Is this you? Or is this somebody else? But this is a general reading, so I'm going to read it as a general reading. This is about knowing your value. This is about freeing yourself, becoming independent of belief systems about who you are and what you deserve. Because there's a self-worth story that was sold to you to keep you bound, to keep you small, to keep you safe. Okay, let's go there. Maybe the parents aren't bad, or the people that raised you or taught you this, maybe they weren't intentionally trying to clip your wings. Maybe they were just overprotective. For somebody, that's going to resonate. Even if their motives were pure, they were still wrapped up in a false belief system. I've met children who are afraid to take chances, who are afraid to leave mommy or daddy's safety zone, who are afraid to take leadership in their life because somebody told them the world was a scary place. Stay where I can protect you, where I can control you. Yes, because not everybody in this story is going to be a good parent. Some of them intentionally kept you small and fed you a shit story, shit coin, made you believe that you weren't strong, that you weren't courageous, that you weren't able, that you weren't valuable, that you weren't maybe chosen. But this is a self-worth issue, and Spirit is telling you it is time for you to confidently unbind yourself, free yourself from the story of the shit coin. Take leadership and absolutely do your shadow work around this Three of Swords. If you're struggling financially, anybody, and I learned this in the last 7 years, anybody who struggles financially struggles with a self-worth wound. Because so the universe is constantly making manifest what vibration you feed the matrix. So if you were raised to believe that you were too big, too loud, too proud, too much, if you were dimmed down, if you were held captive, if you were made small, if you were sold a story about your self-worth that left you feeling unworthy, then that is within you vibrationally. And you can do all the manifesting you want to do. Tell the universe that, I want a new car, I want a nice home, I want a family, I want my highest and best life. But the universe doesn't hear your voice. It reads your vibration, which, by the way, is transmitted through your voice. But it's not the words as much as it is the frequency. And so your mystery message is you need to be like the snake, and you need to shed the old skin, and you need to step boldly into a new you. But shadow work is required, or shadow work is what you've been doing, because some of you have probably already started this journey. But you have to literally do shadow work. You have to look at everything that still can make you feel unworthy or not valuable or not good enough. And you're going to have to reprogram and reparent yourself. You have to reparent yourself. Sometimes this parenting card isn't about the actual parents. It could be ancestral trauma, the ancestral curses, people who were raised through the depression and oppression. They learned to just get by, and they believe that that's all they're ever going to do is just get by, and they kind of imprint that in the DNA, and it rolls downhill. So the next generation is still in lack mentality, and then they have children and they parent them, and there's no intention. So it doesn't have to be bad parents. It could be the the world. It could be the matrix, the false matrix, that is conditioning and parenting you, or has been, into a false timeline where you don't matter. You're not important. You're not valuable. You're not chosen. You're not pretty enough, tall enough, thin enough, fat enough. Because there are people who really would like to be a little heavier. Not me. But there are people who actually struggle with putting weight on. And so, when we are fed a line of bullshit about who we're supposed to be and what we're supposed to look like and what mold we're supposed to fit in, we tend to become trapped in the false narrative, which dims our light and takes away our ability to create confidently our highest and best life, the abundance that we truly deserve. And so pile number 2, you're being told by Spirit, your mystery messages, that there are things that have been done to you that have left you feeling trapped, small, unworthy. You have a self-worth wound, trauma. Shadow. And if you're not already working on it, then this is where we begin, right? We begin working on it. This is a specialty of mine. I do what I call a 2-hour deep dive. Sometimes it takes 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. I always tell whoever hires me for a deep dive to clear their day, because we work and do shadow work, and I channel and read the Akashic records and listen to your stories, because your story, obviously, pile number 2 is false narrative. It's fake news. If you're interested in that, contact me. Maybe you don't need me. Maybe you already got this. Maybe you're already on your way. Because you are looking at this Ace of Pentacles, and I do believe this is you. I believe you're starting to see the fake news, the shitcoin. You're peeling back layers to get to the real thing. So for those of you struggling, reach out. Those of you who aren't struggling, kudos to you. Because shadow work is what's going to change your life. It's going to free you. It's going to give you back your voice. You're going to glow up. You're going to become a better manifester. And so ask yourself, do you struggle financially? And I mean really struggle. I'm not talking about, yeah, I don't have enough money to buy a new house tomorrow. And we're not talking about rich. We're talking about, do you struggle to meet your own needs? Do you struggle to own a car that can get you to a job? Are you struggling to have a job? Are you struggling to keep your bills paid? Maybe you got a beautiful home, beautiful family, but you're so far in debt that every single day you're struggling to balance and maintain the lifestyle that you've created. Ask yourself if you're struggling financially. True struggles, not, yeah, I live, because I do. I live from paycheck to paycheck, or I don't even get paychecks very often, but like I just live abundantly. I know my value. I know what I bring to the table. I know what I have to offer, and I know there are people that seek it. And since I've learned this about myself, I no longer have to borrow money from people to keep my lights on. It's like money just flows to me, and I'm not rich. My bank account doesn't reflect tons of money. But if I need something, it just miraculously shows up. And my needs are always taken care of, because now I have a new core belief system about myself. I used to think I was worthless, that everything I tried, I failed at. I used to think I was too fat, too this, too that. I had been abandoned by people that I loved because they didn't think I was good enough. And then I imprinted on that and started believing I wasn't good enough. And I struggled. I struggled in relationships. I struggled in jobs. I struggled with vehicles. I struggled with paying my bills. And I had to do my shadow work and reparent myself. I had to reparent myself. I had to change the inner story. I had to say, you are beautiful just as you are. You are strong. You are courageous. You are the bomb diggity. You have something that nobody else has, and you do or produce that something in a way that nobody else can produce it, and that makes you valuable, and people will seek you to pay you for what you and only you can produce. And when I started changing the inner dialogue, when I started forgiving the people that hurt me, when I started believing hurt people, but healed people, heal people, when I was willing to go within and sit with the grief, sit with the Three of Swords, sit with every horrible thing that I've ever experienced or heard or been said to me, when I learned to alchemize it and change it from base metal into gold, the universe now feels the frequency of what I have discovered and created within, as within, so without. And now, when I have a need or a desire, I have faith that it's going to be mine, one way or another. Why? Because I deserve it, and because I will find a way to create it. This is all about self-empowerment. You got to do your shadow work. You got to take leadership of your belief systems. You got to reparent yourself. You have to shed the false narrative and drop the shit coin, because whatever you've been told that you're not worthy of, or you're not good enough for, or you're just a piece of shit, whatever. It doesn't have to be that horrible, but it's a narrative. As soon as you start going within and healing the trauma that has created this belief system, is when you will no longer be codependent. You will be independent. You will no longer need charity or other people. You won't be outsourcing your creativity. You won't be asking other people to create for you. You won't be needing other people to validate you. You won't be needing anything external to make you aware of what was always within you. So, pile number 2, this is a deep pile. This is a deep message. If you're struggling, please reach out. I would love to help you. Everything for a deep dive is in my description box. If this is something you can do on your own, then please do, because there is so much here telling me that you have something very valuable to create, and it will be monetized, and it will bring you abundance. But in order to have it, you have to reparent yourself, heal your wounds, free yourself, and stop pretending that you're okay with the breadcrumbs that you're given. It's time for you to be who you were always meant to be, and that is creative source from the greatest creator of all. The Alpha, the Omega, the beginning, the middle, the end, everything that was, everything that is, and everything that shall be. You are the inheritor of that DNA. And that potential lies within you, and it's just waiting for you to discover it. So I love you. This is your mystery message. You need to start mining for gold, because it's not fake gold. It's unique gold. You are unique in your own way. You were given the gift from your Creator to do something, to do many things in ways that are unique to you, and nobody else can do it like you can. And we need you in the world. We need your creativity. We need your high vibration. We need the healing, because it's like a teeter-totter, right? Hurt people, healed people, healed people. The more healed people we get, the less hurt people we have. And the less people who get hurt by the hurt people. And the more people get healed by the healed people. It's the awakening. It's what's happening. One person, one consciousness, one soul at a time. We are becoming one again. Separation from God and Source is an illusion. And you're trained to be trapped, to be small. You're being sold a shit coin. It's not true. And so you have to become a powerful, conscious creator. King of Wands. Masculine energy, but it doesn't mean that you're a masculine. It just means you were born with a unique ability to create abundance, to create happiness, to create autonomy, freedom. You're special. I don't think you know it. I think you struggle with knowing it. I think you're trying to know it. I think you're trying to change the narrative, but Spirit's giving you an opportunity to see what really needs to be done. And what needs to be done is you need to reparent yourself, recondition yourself, and not through the lens of being the victim and heartbroken, but through the lens of being a powerful, conscious creator and creating the outcome instead of waiting for someone else to create it for you or to validate it. So I love you, pile number 2. If you need help, please reach out. If you've got this, then I absolutely am holding space for your healing. And I love you. All right, we are moving on now to pile number 3, who got the big ammonite and the baby ammonite. And the baby ammonite isn't as pretty. It's not as perfect. It's smaller. But it is maybe what you are, moving toward what you're becoming. I don't know until I reveal your cards, but there's a message here, because this is the one that wanted to come out. And when I put it on film, I couldn't see it. And so I dug out the bigger one, put the bigger one out. And maybe there's a purpose. Maybe it's already part of your message that you're meant to be bigger, stronger. I don't know. Or you're growing, becoming. That's not for everybody, because see, this one's hollow. Hollowed out, has like an abyss. And this one is whole. This one is filled. And so energetically, I'm feeling for somebody. It doesn't have to be everybody, because for some of you, you're growing into something much larger. But for somebody, you've been hollow and empty. But you're not showing it. You're like a puffer fish. You're puffing yourself out to be brave, to look like you're whole, to look like you're fulfilled. But you're not. But you will be. Something is happening for one of you, or maybe a few of you, where the empty space inside of you is now being healed and filled. And that empty feeling is going to go away. So let's see what your mystery reading is. Flowering. You're growing. I told you, I was feeling 2 messages. I think the hollow, empty one is just for maybe 1 or 2 of you. For the majority of you, this is about growing, flowering. Queen of Pentacles. Oh, and there's the hole. For those of you who resonated with feeling hollow, feeling empty, feeling broken. The abyss. Pothole. Stuck. Maybe feeling stuck. Wanting to grow, but feeling stuck. We have peace. Maybe you're stressed and worried that there's something that you're on the wrong road, or that you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. Because look how clear the road is ahead. It's like clear shot. But there's something here that is stressing you and robbing you from your vision and your growth. Financial discipline. There's a lot about money this week, or value, because sometimes it's our self-worth, right? Financial discipline. It's number 48, breaks down to a 12, breaks down to a 3. We have microphone, news, trending, broadcast, expression, strong opinion, make known, current events, public speaking, speak truth, communicate, social media, being heard, speaking up. Yeah. It's funny how there's always a red thread through all of my readings. We have 10 of coins, 9 of wands, and 7 of cups. All right, pile number 3. Your voice is precious. You have something to say. You have whatever's got you stuck financially is around the corner. Things are about to get better. But again, I'm being called to channel this week around self-worth and strength, stamina. 9 of wands it's the Chiron wound. It's the battle you've been fighting for years and you're almost there. It's not giving up. But I see your confusion. I see that you maybe have a hard time choosing one venue or one avenue or one option. It's like well, the biggest message I'm getting is don't give up. Second message I'm getting is that you need rest and peace. When you rest, because here you're vigilant and you're stressed and possibly struggling. And I'm hearing struggling artist. So you're a creator of something, whether it's a podcast or writing a book or creating art or something creative. I think you need to rest and regroup. think you've been winning battles, but you haven't won the war. It's like your one idea, one choice, one thought, one download, one something away from winning the war, whatever your war is. Your voice is important. Now, that doesn't mean you're a singer or a public speaker on social media, but you could be. You could be in a job where you don't feel confident to speak your truth, to ask for the raise, or to tell the boss that you have a better idea. It really is a collective reading, so it's non-specific. But energetically, I feel like you've been stuck in a rut. It could be maybe you're wanting to expand your business, but the finances just aren't there. Or maybe you try to create something that you thought would bring you financial stability and abundance, but you keep hitting blockages or getting stuck or just creative blocks. You know, if you're an author, you got writing block, or if you're whatever, it doesn't matter, because your voice is important in whatever you're doing. You need to use your voice. You need to speak your truth. Something about your voice is going to be monetized, or it could even be rituals. You know, I use rituals to set my intentions to create something. And your voice is very important. You can't think your manifestations, you speak them, right? So whatever this is for you, there is a block, a hiccup, a pothole, something that has kept you stuck. But the road ahead is clear, and I think you need to rest. I think you need to stop worrying, maybe let your guard down, maybe speak your truth, know your value, have a clear vision, clearer vision of what you're trying to create. And, you know, I wanted to say this, but I don't see a fork in the road. Because with the Seven of Cups, that means you have options, which means I was kind of feeling like maybe you could take a different road. Choose something else. If that feels right, I want you to go with that. But because this road doesn't have a fork in it, I'm thinking it's more about overcoming the worry, the doubt, the obstacle, and start problem solving, looking at other solutions, trying other things. There's a way around this, or a way through this, but it's not the way you've been doing it. You have to rest and regroup, but don't give up, because the Nine of Wands says don't give up. Don't give up. You're about to grow. You're about to flower and flourish. 10 of Coins. Money is going to get better. But there's a need for you to recharge. I don't know why, but I feel tired. I feel like my battery, like I feel like I've been doing this and doing this and doing this and doing this and doing this. And I'm like a dog with a bone. I know this can work. I know I can get through it. I know I can achieve it. I know I can create it. But I'm exhausted and worried. I'm feeling worried because we got peace here. Spirit's like, peace, be still and know that I am God. Be still. There's something about needing to get quiet and to look at all your options. Look at how she's laying down and she's looking at all of her options. You might dream something creatively into being. Or you may have been going about it the wrong way. Your voice is important. I don't know why, but your voice is important. And this is a woman who painted this beautiful picture of a loving family. A mom and a dad and children and a house and money, financial discipline. Discipline says that you have to be frugal, you have to be smart, you can't squander. There's a message here for somebody who is an overgiver, because the Queen of Pentacles can be that person, right? She can be the one that gives too much because she feels safe and secure in her own financial arrangement or beingness. If you're an overgiver, be careful. Just, be discerning is what I want to say. Be discerning about where you're investing your time, your energy, and your self-worth. Your value. You are very valuable. And if you struggle with speaking out and speaking up, it's kind of been a block for you. You need to work on your throat chakra. And there's something about your voice that is going to get you through this. It's going to help you get through the tough times. You're going to have to cinch in your belt. You're going to have to be frugal. You can't overspend. You can't overgive. If it's just energy, if it's not money, because sometimes, in cards, the energy of money is also the energy of value. And you've got to know your value, because the Queen of Pentacles knows her value. She's like, come on, I'm the wife and the partner of the King of Pentacles, which is the Midas King. Everything he touches turns to gold. And she manages his gold. She is the financial disciplinary of the gold. And so there's something here about protecting what you have, speaking clearly, using your voice. Maybe you're a singer. Maybe you're a podcaster. Maybe you make YouTube videos, or you're on social media, TikTok or whatever. Doesn't matter. Your message is don't give up. Rest. You definitely need to rest, and you need to maybe meditate. Maybe make a list of all your options. Maybe look at things differently. because her angle is different. She's not over it. She's level with it. There's a lot going on in this reading. There are many, 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 many choices and options, and probably a lot of people chose this pile. And that's why I'm getting so many different downloads. Where there's a will, there's a way. Thank you, Spirit. Focus. First of all, rest. Rest in knowing you're safe, and that no matter what is dealt to you, you will use it wisely. Bring peace and rest. And I don't remember what I just channeled, but now I'm hearing there's more than one way to skin a cat. So whatever you're doing that you have been met with resistance, you need to look at it. You need to, first of all, bring peace and clarity. Something about resting is going to give you the point of view you're missing. Don't give up. If at first you don't succeed, try a different route. But I don't think you need to change your direction. You need to change your approach. You need to be smart about your money or your value, because it doesn't have to be money. It could just be your time and energy, your creativity. Because 9 can be protective too, the 9 of Wands. So yes, be protective and disciplined with your time and energy and money, resources. Use your voice somehow, some way. You're going to know, because it's not a private reading or personal reading. It's a collective reading. But your voice is important. You need to be heard. You need to monetize it. You need to, something about your voice. And if this is just about manifesting and you've been thinking and daydreaming, 7 of Cups, fantasizing about what you want, but not speaking it into the world, into existence. Because, you know, the magician has all of the tools it needs to create the 10 of coins. Maybe your voice is one of the missing elements, the sword element. And when you look at the reading, it's the only element missing. We have water, which is emotion. We have fire, which is creativity and drive. And we have coins, earth. But we're missing air. And so for somebody, maybe vocalizing, or if you are one to do manifestation rituals, maybe instead of daydreaming or fantasizing, maybe it's time you talk about it. Let me give you a really generic manifestation example. Okay, I want a camper. I've wanted a camper. I always say someday, right? When Jesse graduates, you know, my dad just recently passed away, and I really didn't think he seemed so healthy other than his COPD that I just thought he was going to live forever. He was 88 years old, or 87, almost 88 years old. And he still lived at home, took care of himself, took care of his bird and his dog, took care of his lawn and his neighbor's lawn, and he had an immaculate lawn. Beautiful flowers and shrubs and just, I mean, he was a born natural landscaper, and he was a Capricorn, go figure. But my fantasy, or the way I looked at things, was someday, I fantasized, someday, when my father is resting at peace in the arms of God, and Jesse is grown and out of the home, I'm going to live my dream. And I want to buy a camper, a very small camper. I just want something large enough to sleep, cook, and shower and shit in. Literally, I just want a tiny little camper. And I want to take my voice on the road. I am on social media, but I want to be seen in person. I want to go to the holistic health expos. I want to be a keynote speaker. I want to channel for the collective. Maybe this is my pile. It just dawned on me. Maybe it is. Anyhow, I want a camper. And so the example of manifestation is what I'm going to use. So the magician has all their tools, right? Every element, the element of emotions, I'm emotionally attached to it. It makes me happy, makes me feel adventurous, right? The wands, the fire, it's a desire. It makes me feel adventurous. It makes me feel motivated. It makes me feel free and driven. Something as small as a camper, right? And 10 of coins. This is something I want to manifest into my reality. I want to be able to bite it and bury it in the backyard. And I want to monetize it. I want to make a living from it. So I can get in my car and drive to, say, Michigan. Of course, because I'd be taking a camper, I have to stay in the United States because that's where I'm at, right? I have to be able to drive to it. But I could drive to a big show, make a couple $1,000s. Well, there are shows where you can make a lot of money, and there's shows where you're going to make a couple $100, right? You have to be discerning. You have to make the right decisions. You have to not squander your money. You have to take it into consideration, right? How much will it cost me to drive that far? How much will it cost me to buy the booth or to promote myself or whatever? Financial discipline. But I don't have a camper, and I always fantasized that it would be someday. I figured my dad would grow old at 87 years old. I figured eventually his health would break down, and my idea was I'm going to move in with Dad, and I'm going to take care of Dad, and I'm going to make his life as comfortable and healthy as I can until he passes, till he's at peace. And then I'm going to be Jesse's mom, and I'm going to put a roof over his head and food in his stomach and buy him the best of what I can afford to buy him with discipline until he is driving, working, and eventually chooses his own path, his own life. It's been my dream. I fantasize about it. Well, my dad just passed away, and so that roadblock is no longer there. It makes me very sad that it's no longer there because I was willing and able to do so much more than I ended up doing. Not because I wasn't, just because the need wasn't there, right? He chose to exit this world, and he did it so gracefully, and he did it his way. But that is no longer a concern for me. So now, Jesse just entered 10th grade. He's got to do 10th, 11th, and 12th. So I still have to fantasize before I can just become the gypsy soul that I want to become. But now, money is not as big of an option or obstacle as it was. So I've been manifesting a camper. I don't have one yet, but I already have the vehicle to pull it. When my dad passed, he has an SUV. 2018, really nice one. And I was going to have to buy Jesse a car anyhow. I don't know why I'm talking so much about myself. I'm so sorry, guys. Let's just fast forward without making this so personal. I bought my sister out of the car. So now I have the car. And now I want the camper. Because I don't have to wait for someday. I can monetize my voice. And I can have it now. I'm going to have to be disciplined with how I spend my resources, time, and energy. Because I still have Jesse to take care of. But that doesn't mean I can't manifest my little camper. Because when the estate sells, I'm going to have a little bit of money. I'm going to have to be disciplined. But you have to talk about it. You can't just be emotionally attached to it. You can't just desire it. If you want it to manifest into the 3D, you have to also speak it into existence. So I can't just go on Marketplace or these for sales websites or camper distributors or whatever, dealers. I have to make some phone calls. I have to ask, how much does it weigh? Because my car can only tote such, so much pounds. What are the amenities? Is it something a single woman can handle on her own? But speaking is a very key element to the process. If you just dream about it, if you just desire it, it's never going to fully manifest because you're missing one of the elements. And so I'm sorry that I got so into my own story. I'm still grieving, guys. Please be patient with me. Don't unsubscribe because I made it all about me. But this is what I'm getting from your reading, is that there is something that you want, something you're capable of creating, something you're able to afford if you're careful, something that you've been wanting, daydreaming about, desiring, that you want to create. Maybe you've been feeling a little stuck, but things are about to get much better for you. And it's time that you speak it into existence. It's time you start talking about it. It's time you start asking verbally for it. And you might even be like me and be able to monetize your voice in some way, shape, or form. So that's your reading, guys. And again, I apologize for going on a tangent. But I kind of feel like this might be my pile this week. All right? I love you so very much. I am so grateful you are here. You are growing. And whatever holes have been on your way, they're about to be filled in by Spirit. You're about to maybe downsize. Like, not shrinking, but condensing to become more. I don't know how to articulate the energy I'm getting from that. It's like the puffer fish. You don't have to be big. You just have to be solid. I love you. I hope this made sense. Let me know if you picked pile number 3 and you made it to the end, because I went on and on and on, and you still love me and you're still here. Drop me a comment and let me know, did this resonate? And maybe if you feel like sharing how it resonates, let me know in the comments section, or send me an email, because I'm very interested to know. Okay? I love you guys. Namaste.